Go.
What was the first one? God. Like, I haven't been doing this for very long. Really, what is official and what is not? I guess I've been doing it in small, instances since I was a kid, but more so now after I rescued the 4 dogs from Langkawi, right? The hardest thing that I see with the frontliners, I'm not a frontliner, I kind of would say I'm a support system, I help put things up on, I'm trying to help put things up online for some rescuers that I know, and because I know that they're not getting any help, they're not getting any, look, some of them are working, like, sometimes they work 2 jobs just for everything to go to feed the homeless. I call them first citizens, okay? First citizens, everything they have, to go to these homeless souls, right? And the biggest challenge is finances, I would say, right? And look, if you guys cannot spare your space, if you don't have time to help, if you don't have the aptitude, the wantitude to bring in, the least you can do is even say, hey, you know what, I would like to pledge 10 ringgit a month. What is that, right? If enough people would do that for your chosen rescue groups, how much help that would be? A lot of help, right? If enough of us are doing it, because the mark of a good society is how we treat, I don't like to call them animals, but non-human souls, right? So the biggest challenge is finances, and if there's nothing else you can give, not your time, not your space, not your efforts, give money, because money will enable these people to do what they do, because the government's not going to help us right now. The law is not on their side right now. So if you have it in you, make a pledge. Tell yourself, I'm going to do 20 ringgit, 50 ringgit. What is that? What's the most difficult thing about being on your own doing this is you're actually on your own. When you don't have enough money to pay your rent, you are on your own. Who do you tell? Who do you ask for? It's being on your own. And I guess that's the simplest answer. You feel alone. You can feel alone. But I guess the universe is one kind but kind enough to bring you maybe like 4 or 5 people, right? Right now, with Magnum Pawssible, there's Nicole, Susan, Caroline, and myself. Just 4 people. But we're just 4 out of so many out there in Malaysia, right? But not enough. So the hardest thing about being independent rescuers is that you feel alone. You can feel alone, and sometimes people don't even have money to eat properly because they're giving everything they have to the homeless fur animals out there. And here's another thought, right? What is the definition of a citizen of a country? You would say manusia yang dilahirkan di Malaysia, or yang dilahirkan in a country. So why can't these other souls also be treated as citizens of a country, cared for, if not as much, almost as much? And I think one of the things that's been brewing up in me is that we need to follow the examples of certain countries out there. India is doing it, New Zealand is doing it, like I said, to give animals equal rights, almost the same rights as children. Children cannot vote, children do not contribute to society, but they are given protection rights. They, if something, they're protected. They have rights. There's guardianship laws. Why can we not do that because they can't speak, they can't fend for themselves, they can't speak for themselves, right, children? Same too as these other, as non-human beings out there. Why can't we as a country do that, So that's something that's been brewing in me lately.
Would you recommend somebody being independent?
Yes, definitely.
Why?
Because there are too many voiceless souls out there that need your help. You don't even have to be called, and anyone can be an independent. Just help even if you just decide, I'm going to help and do what I can within what I see, within what I just come across. It's cukup. But to turn a blind eye, janganlah. All right. So another thing that I've come across is that I like the 4 pups that I rescued from Langkawi. They're all, every time I talk about, they're all beautiful. Every time I bring them out, are normal looking lah. Oh, they're just mutts. Let's put them at a factory. Oh, I have a factory. Oh, this one I want this one sebab ada factory lah. You know how they treat some of these dogs that are at factories? They don't care for them. They don't care for them. They just want these dogs to be guard dogs or letak dekat. Okay, farms are pretty good. So I started researching our Malaysian dogs. So there's also mixed breeds which have been mixed with other, I call them mat saleh breeds. But our Malaysian dogs are called Telomians, and Telomian dogs were dogs that were bred and raised by the orang asli around the Telom River, and they have certain characteristics: dingo-like ears, aerodynamic body, very, very curly tail. They helped with controlling rodents. They're very, very loyal, very athletic, and our Telomian dogs can climb and they can jump. Why can they climb? Sebab rumah kampung, when you go up the kan rumah kampung kan ada stilts, and to go up to the door, you have the tangga yang ada, what do you call that? What do you call it? Like, the wooden tangga lah. So they had to climb literally like this. And eventually, our Telomians can climb trees. If they want you near them, they literally pull you like this, and they jump very easily. And just because they are locals, they're your local dogs, doesn't mean they are worth nothing. I think it is high time, 2025, that we look at our local breeds and don't just say, oh, they're just mutts. Every dog, I'm a mutt, I'm a mixed rojak, Malaysian. So I'm a mutt, and proudly one. But, don't look at them and say, oh, it's just a mutt. Let's just whatever, ... you fill in the blanks. So I'd like to actually have an event where we have the biggest gathering of homed Telomians. Sebab there are too many homeless Telomians out there. I'd love for them to get more attention. I'd love for us to know more about them. I'd love for us to appreciate them much more. There was a time in the United States people were paying for Telomians. Alright, paying US dollars for Telomians. And right now, if there are any Telomians in the US, they actually come from 2 dogs that were brought there. One, I think, in the 70s, and what was it, the 80s. And if there are any Telomians in America, it's from 2 dogs that were brought there. So, why discriminate? Janganlah racist.